I gotta tell you something I could do. I could be running around chasing you, but I won't. Cause I got better things to do. Rather spend my precious time chasing somebody who loves me too. If I got $1 for every time you slam the door, I would be the richest girl alive. If you hadn't run away every time I asked you stay, you would sleep right next to me tonight. No, you didn't want me, all you wanted was a game to play, and you couldn't handle that I had my ways. I found your magics and your side chicks, I'm a winner, babe. No, you didn't win this, it's a part of the game. In the beginning I just didn't know that you're an enemy I held too close.
Hey, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that story about the FDA approving a daily oral contraceptive to be able to help prevent pregnancy and also a pill for postpartum depression. I want to bring that story to you, all my virtual travelers, my virtual tour family, because at the end of the day, if we are a family, in which we are, we need to help each other at all capacities, not just escape, but to help our lives be a little bit easier to get through. Amen, somebody? Amen. Welcome into another edition of Brainley's Virtual Tour Pit Stop. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Once again, everything on this channel is alleged in my opinions for entertainment purposes only. Once again, everything on this channel is alleged in my opinions for entertainment purposes only. Once again, everything on this channel is alleged in my opinions for entertainment purposes only. So, the last time we talked about Nene Leakes, I said part 2 was better than part 1. And I say that because of the energy. I feel like part 1 of the Nene Leakes interview was really more of the personal side of Nene Leakes, and this is more of the industry talk and just how the industry has evolved. It was really fascinating to see Nene, who was there from day 1, hour 1, minute 1, millisecond 1, milli of the millisecond 1, right? And Carlos King, who, let's give him credit that he knows the girls, as he likes to say, and that he really did throw down. And so last time we talked, we left off at Nene doesn't understand the animosity that Candy has for Nene. So with that, let's continue on with more part 2 of the Nene Leakes interview with Carlos King. Part 2, everybody. So Nene says she loves Portia, but would not be friends with her if she was in Candy's position, because of frickin' frack and what happened with, Candy and Phaedra, right? So if you don't know what happened, there was a huge allegation that was said about Portia and the dungeon, and the social media was unnecessarily savage, and it could have affected Candy's life. So because of that, Portia, because of that, Phaedra got kicked off of Real Housewives of Atlanta, but now she is coming back to Bravo on Married to Medicine. Although I feel like she should have stuck with that brother who played Quincy. I hated his behind his Quincy on the Have and the Have-Nots. But Medina, that's the name, Medina. I feel like she should have stayed with Medina, because Medina seemed like a really cool brother. And, on Love and Marriage Boot Camp, Medina said that he had sex with Phaedra. I'm like, wait a minute. Phaedra is a beautiful Southern belle. Let's go ahead and be real about it. The body is bodying, as they say. And, Phaedra said, I'm a lawyer, I'm a mom, I'm a mortician, so it comes with a lot. It seemed like Medina was willing to give you that, Phaedra, but either way, I know this Medina's going to be picked up by some queen out there, okay? Let's all understand that. That was a wonderful season of Love and Marriage Boot Camp. By the way, sidebar, I think We TV should do singles boot camp. and bring singles on and teach them how to put themselves in position for a relationship. I think that would be a great show. Of course, I would have to host it. I'm not going on the show. Nope, nope. Unless you got some fine people in there. And I'm not talking about fine in terms of looks. I mean, I do like a curvy, thick, voluptuous, thickums, and, curvaceous. But I do believe that, you need a balance for everybody's not in a marriage. There are people that are single. So, and then you need, maybe a transition boot camp for couples that are in crisis, right? So anyway, that's just a sidebar there. So let's get back to this, okay? So Nene says, that production. Hang on. Sorry, y'all. Nene doesn't find Candy exciting, and she says the camera doesn't love her but loves her family. Now, obviously, this was said on Sherelle's World. By the way, shout out to Sherelle's World. An amazing channel. I love Perry. Let me tell you, Perry and Sherelle should go on tour and just talk live on stage. I would go watch. I would absolutely go watch. Shout out to Perry and Sherelle's World. Y'all go check them out. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to them. They were talking about how, Candy really doesn't need the show and she's not giving what she needs to give to the show. And, I would say this. I think that Candy, I said this in a previous video, that Candy, she is probably the biggest one known on the show, okay? And so I think her being on the show does give, the Real Housewives of Atlanta some social capital, because people tune in because Candy is there. It's something consistent. It's something that is going to be there, and not to mention, if they got rid of Candy, then where would the show go? And that's no shade to any of the ladies. I think all those ladies are established in their own right. But as they did say in this interview, you do need an anchor of the show. And so right now, I think Candy's the anchor. You know what I mean? Listen, at the end of the day, does she need the money? No, she doesn't. She could probably do an overall talent development production deal with NBC and produce shows for the NBC network. However, that doesn't mean you give up the thing that has given you a platform. And she's probably taking that money and diversifying it into her business. That's just me. I think we all do the same thing, okay? So Nene says that that production and the network wanted the girls who didn't have the it factor. They have the eye but not the star. And they say that the biggest show on Bravo is Below Deck, and Beverly Hills is the #1 housewife show. And Roa was the #1 show for more than 5 years running. It's no longer. And listen, I think that viewers have a mindset of, listen, this is my escape, and there are certain things I need in order to appreciate this escape, right? And I think at the end of the day, for myself, for you, and for all of us, all of us virtual travelers rather, and our virtual tour family, I think we have to realize that what is an escape and what is entertainment and what is good is in the eye of the beholder, right? They're still holding 500,000 viewers, which in today's world where we have the attention span of a snap, that's actually good. But I get it's not the 5 million when Nene was on, and they did talk about that. Okay, so Nene feels that the network doesn't want Roa to be #1 at all. Roa has become unwatchable according to Carlos and many other people. And, I love Nene's and Carlos's, exchange of energy, right? That there was a point in time where Nene became the interviewer, and she's a good interviewer too. She really, really is. So she asked Carlos, what do you think is needed for the show? And he said he's talking from a producer standpoint, starts as an associate producer from the bottom and working the way up. And I mentioned this in our a little bit just now in the last points we just talked about just now, that the show needs an anchor. And I agree. It's just like watching the Oprah Winfrey show. You knew that the topic's going to be different, but Oprah was the anchor. Every show has a anchor, that foundation that is your access point for being able to watch, understand, and connect to the show that you're watching. I wish Carlos would have said from his personal point of view. And I understand why he went with the producer route, because he's close to it. He's not just close, he's not just around it, he's in it. So I know that he has a higher position of responsibility and the execution of those responsibilities, right? So they talk about, Nene and Carlos talk about, the favorite trip, right? And Carlos talked about the favorite trip. His favorite trip was the trip to Savannah, because Nene got the girls together and guided them on how to. Nene guided them in terms of how to bring them together for their mindset to understand the assignment. And Nene says that you are the shadiest showrunner, Nene. You are the shadiest showrunner that Nene has ever sat down with. And Nene, I think everybody can agree with that. Full-heartedly. And he knows it. He absolutely knows it. He absolutely knows it. So, with that being said, Carlos knew all the girls and knew the ticks to make the show work. And that's what Nene said. So I love this part. Nene said, you put a battery in Kenya's back and made her go. I'm like, probably the reason why a battery need to be in her back, because she doesn't know how to go on her own and be an original. Oh, did that come out my mouth? I did say everything on this channel is alleged, in my opinions, for entertainment purposes only. Love y'all. Love you so much. So, sorry. Let me get the laugh right. Me. Woody Woodpecker. So let's get back to this, everybody. So when the new showrunners come in, the new showrunners don't get to know them. And doesn't know who they are. And so Nene and Carlos use the analogy of Destiny's Child, that it didn't work without Beyonce, right? And I do agree. I think, every reality show, every TV show, radio show, any piece of content definitely needs a anchor for sure. Without that anchor, there is nothing that will be able to work. Nene says the network will never do this. And this is when Carlos asked, what do you think the network should do? And Nene said the network would never do this, but she thinks that Bravo should say that the network should say, it's been real and goodbye, start off with a new clean slate. Now, I agree and disagree with Nene on that. I agree with her because at the end of the day, after being on for season 15, that's half a decade of television. And you do need a reset. And either you're going to get a reset because you need to do it because you have control, or you're going to have to do a reset because you have to do a reset because the fans are demanding a reset where blackouts are happening, right? So, Nene said Sweet 16 is coming. And Carlos was like, what do you mean by that? Season 16. And Nene's blank face when they get back to her, it's so damn funny. Nene is a meme machine. She's a meme machine. She's a meme machine. She's a gift machine. Gift machine. She's a response machine. Response machine. A response machine. Okay, so Nene said that she is confused by the friends and she does not know why they are there. Nene said it's sad to see the house that she built crash and burn, but and also that the network doesn't understand what the show means. But Nene does hear also that Marlo is reading Candy for the Gods. Now, I think reading is also in the eye of the beholder. I think that's going to be a broken record on this channel, but it is what it is. And so, listen, I think that Marlo may have had some moments, but I think most of those moments have been out of desperation of trying to do anything to be something to still have that peach. Because y'all remember the moment with, you know, the ladies after Drew's 5 second performance with Candace, and so I would like to hope that performance was a little bit longer because these shoots they take 2 to 3 hours, right? So I'm assuming that she saw more, but maybe that's all we saw. But that's neither here nor there. What happened afterward was that Drew was saying it was an incident, and Marla was saying that you're talking about the shooting. And at the end of it, at the end of that episode, Marlo said, "My nephew's passed away. My nephew passed away. My nephew passed away." And I think in that moment it was so uncalled for because listen, I get everybody has trauma. I get everybody has pain. I get everybody, breathes, moves, and activates differently when it comes to different spaces of life. But I think we can all agree that that was way over the top. That maybe Drew said incident because she was trying to respect the fact that it is a legal matter, Marlo. And maybe she might have some trauma that she doesn't want to re-trigger herself with. Okay, so I think that reading is in the eye of the beholder, but hey, that was Nene's opinion. So then, Carlos says that she felt Sheree had moments of becoming an anchor. Nene then says she sees how Sheree could be perceived as an anchor, but she thinks that Sheree doesn't have the energy to be that anchor. I definitely can agree with Nene's assessment on that, and I'm being as fair as I can, right? She by Sheree has been around for how long? Since the show's been around, and and Seventh Avenue is doing way better than She by Sheree. With all the social capital that the show has given Sheree, she should be at least a millionaire by now. Just saying. Just saying. Or at least on her way to being a billionaire. But that's neither here nor there. So, I want to talk about this section because this was a part 2 sneak peek. But I did not review that sneak peek because I wanted to be able to give it a little more context here. So here we go. Carlos didn't like it when Wendy referred to Nene as the girl over there, but she still loves Wendy. But that he still loves Wendy. That Carlos, the man, Carlos King, still loves Wendy. Let me make that clarification. Nene was an inside friend, and her relationship with Wendy Williams, Nene's relationship with Wendy Williams' friendship was off and on. Nene really liked Wendy a lot as a person. Drinks, going to her place, and Wendy would switch on Nene in the same day. So Nene would have a great time with Wendy, and then watch on TV and switch on her, and basically said, "We were just having a good time. How the hell did we get here?" And so Nene was thinking, was it for TV and Wendy trying to make a good show? And Nene said the realest tea about friendship. She said, "Wendy, you need at least 2 friends that you can count on and not go in on them. You can talk about everybody else, but these 2, you protect them." And Nene said that she didn't care about her friends at that point. And Nene really liked her as a person. And I do want to take some time out here to really talk about this from a cultivation theory point of view. It's where the more you watch of something, the more you think in that capacity. And what I would say is it's one thing to have a parasocial relationship with Wendy Williams through, watching her daytime talk show. It's another thing when you are around that person is not on all the time. And so I think for Nene to see her best friend in real life, or IRL, and to see that Wendy's anchor was basically just whatever was happening instead of the people in her life. I could feel how Nene feels of I'm sad, but how sad can I be because you're not treating me with respect. So I wanted to give that some credence there. let's see. They still talk about Wendy Williams in this section, and Carlos said, "When was the last time that you, Wendy, have talked to Nene?" He said it's been a while since her and Wendy talked, and Wendy called Nene trying to make amends. And this was around the time of guest hosting, with Sherry Shepard and Nick Cannon, Carson Kressley, and Vivica A. Fox. Which, by the way, I feel that they should have done a contest for one of Wendy's co-hosts, one of her fans of the show, to host it for a full week. Because guess what? I would have won that competition. I would have done so doggone well. Okay, and listen, everybody else who would have won that competition would have just came to work at 9, did the show at 10, and left. I would have been there early for the pre-production meetings. I would have been there for rehearsal. I would have been talking to everybody, around the way, seeing how everybody's doing, going to the control room, praying for them. Of course, praying with the executive producer, if they're into that type of thing. And I would, talk to the artists during commercial breaks, stay around for 20 minutes afterwards, do the post-production meeting. And then guess what? I am going to, for that week, I'm going to say, hey, I want to go on GMA tomorrow morning to talk about what I did yesterday on the Wendy Williams show. Just saying. I would have taken that inch and making it a mile. Do you hear me? So, Tom Arnold and a Nene talk show was on the table. There was a Deborah Mercury contract. Deborah Mercury are the people who produced the Wendy Williams show and who now produce the Sherry Shepard show, which is also produced by WW Productions, which is Wendy Williams' production company. So she still is in association with Deborah Mercury. So there was an argument about Birkin bag that Nene had a bag and Kim K had a bag, and Wendy graffitied on the bag. And Wendy said that Wendy, and this is all alleged in my opinion, I could be wrong, but this is what I'm hearing, that Wendy said that Nene can't afford to do that, but Kim K can afford to do that. And Nene said, listen here, window. So basically what I'm thinking, listen here, window, is like, listen, your window is open and everything that you're saying is flying out the window. It's not making any sense. I could be wrong, but I'm just reading between the lines of what I see. It was a Black women empowerment event. I think somewhere in America, I think it was Atlanta, or somewhere around there. But it went back and forth, and it went so left that they pulled the deal. Nene learned that the deal was not happening through her attorney, and that Nene has had other offers to do a talk show, but has not been able to do one since, and she was blackballed. But she's able to do a little work now. Podcast, talk show, no deals. She's get many offers, but they pass away. So, I want to end it here because I think this is a good point to stop. But also, too, I want to say that I think at the end of the day, in this industry, it is a groupthink mentality. Okay, well, if this person's been through this, then I'm going to go through it. And that's not fair. Like Nene said at the end of part 1, with Carlos King, all I need is water, where I need to be, and my check. And I'm good to go. And I think that, if if the Housewife franchise can be as big as they are and have BravoCon and all these housewives can have opportunities, I think that, Nene Leakes also deserves opportunities too. So that is my take on this edition of part 2 of Carlos King. This is my take on more of the part 2 interview with Carlos King and Nene Leakes. Like I said, part 2 definitely had more energy than part 1, but I think it was necessary that part 2 had more energy than part 1, because part 1 was catching up with Nene the person, and I think this edition of part 2 was Nene the celebrity. So like, comment, share, and subscribe. One love, much love, all love. I hope you enjoyed this edition of Brantley's virtual tour pit stop. One love, much love, all love. Bye. Bye, everybody.
I gotta tell you something I could do. could be running around chasing you, but I won't. Cause I got better things to do. Rather spend my precious time chasing somebody who loves me too. If I got $1 for every time you slam the door, I would be the richest girl alive, live. If you hadn't run away every time I asked you stay, you would sleep right next to me tonight. No, you didn't want me, all you wanted was a game to play, and you couldn't handle that I had my ways. Around your matrix and your side chicks, I'm a winner, babe. No, you didn't win this, it's a part of the game. In the beginning I just didn't know that you're an enemy I held too close. Now I know, cause you did everything to prove me wrong. You were not the guy I thought. Now I'm beating you at your own. Yeah. If I got $1 for every time you slam the door, I would be the richest girl alive, live. No, you didn't want me, all you wanted was a game to play, and you couldn't handle that I had my ways. Around your matrix and your side chicks, I'm a winner, babe. No, you didn't win this, it's a part of the game. Yeah, I beat you at your game, and if you were me, you would do the same. Man, I really love to play, and now that I won, then it's safe to say, no, you didn't want me, all you wanted was a game to play, and you couldn't handle that I had my ways. Around your mind tricks and your side chicks, I'm a winner, babe. No, you didn't win